Growing a baby? Here are the best foods to make sure little Bubba is growing healthy and strong. Hello and welcome back to Veggie Magnifique, your go-to for holistic wellness and a healthy vegan lifestyle. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Anne and I'm a health coach, performer, and a total food lover. So if you are pregnant, congratulations. A miracle that is happening and I'm very excited for you. Now, it seems that a lot of pregnant mamas fall into two different camps, right? There's the camp of, I'm just gonna eat whatever the heck I want because I'm gonna gain weight anyway, so voila. And then there's the other camp of moms who seek to be a little bit more mindful and up their nutrition game, but they're a little bit overwhelmed on how to do that. As miraculous as creating life is, it can come with a laundry list of fears.
Am I eating the right foods? Is baby getting enough protein, calcium, what have you?
Mom guilt seems to start pretty early. Of course, another hidden question on many mamas' minds is, am I going to have to eat like a saint for 9 months? Right? Can we have our cake and eat it too and still ensure a healthy pregnancy? Sort of. It definitely pays off to eat a very clean diet during your pregnancy, as your body is creating a whole human in there. It's amazing. But that doesn't mean that you can't have slightly healthier versions of some of your favorite treats, and I will definitely talk about that in a bit. But first, let's dive into my top 10 foods to eat for a healthy pregnancy. Number 1 is seaweed smacks for iodine. Now, we all need iodine. It's essential for our thyroid, but it's also critical in assisting in the development of the baby's brain and the nervous system. And having enough iodine is literally connected to the IQ that your child will have later. So it's a big thing. Of course, I highly recommend seaweed snacks because they're delicious and crunchy. And that's just what I have been enjoying munching on during my pregnancy to ensure that I'm getting iodine. Of course, there are other ways to consume seaweed. You can get those little seaweed shaky flakes. You can also just, have sushi, vegan sushi, obviously. We have a recipe, I'll link it. Or any other way that you enjoy eating seaweed. Just let me say really quickly that your prenatal vitamin, which if it's a good prenatal vitamin, will contain iodine, okay? So that is preliminary, but then you also want to just maybe add in a little bit of seaweed to make sure you're getting enough. Number 2 is beans. Of course, beans are just, I have so much love in my heart for beans as a healthy vegan. So you have beans, you have lentils, you have pulses, as the Brits say, right? Any way that you enjoy consuming beans, whether that's tempeh or tofu, get those in. And top tip, make sure that you add in a little bit of citrus, like lemon on top of lentils or something, because that is going to increase the absorption of iron. Because why are we having beans and pulses and lentils? Well, of course, they're good for you, but also they're really rich in iron, which is very important during your pregnancy. Of course, you can also have green peas. I forgot about that. I love green peas. They're delicious. Have some peas. My next tip is, of course, to eat greens. Eat greens, because greens, in addition to being rich in a whole host of vitamins, are rich in folate, and folate is what we need. You're always hearing, are you taking folic acid during your pregnancy? It's like, no, dude, I'm eating folate. Of course, I'm also supplementing with folate in my prenatal vitamin, but the idea is that folic acid is like the chemical version of folate. Folate is what comes from plants. So if you can up your green intake, you're gonna ensure you're getting that really important nutrient for your body and your baby. So maybe you can't really stomach greens right now, maybe it's early in your pregnancy or something, just do whatever you can to get them in, right? Some top tips are to chop them up really finely and throw them into everything, whether that's a soup or a pasta dish or veggie tacos. Just chuck in as many greens as possible. Another great way to get greens in is to make smoothies or smoothie bowls or even smoothie popsicles. The next thing to eat during your pregnancy is seeds, specifically flaxseed, hemp seed, chia seeds, and all those seeds that contain the amazing omega-3, ALA, delightful fatty acids. Now, these ALA containing foods convert to EPA DHA. So you have people saying, eat fish or take fish oil. And they're right about the EPA DHA, but what isn't helpful during your pregnancy is that fish can be very high in heavy metals and PCBs. Furthermore, fish is the most polluted source of food out there due to bioaccumulation. And fish is also a big source of foodborne illness. So what we're looking when we're eating is nutrients, and each food has a package of different nutrients. So does fish have EPA DHA? Yes, but it also has other things that are a little less savory, if you see what I'm saying. So I highly recommend you consume flaxseed, especially flaxseed. They also have lignans, and just get those seeds in because they don't have those detriments that fish does. Of course, I'm a vegan, but this is just the scientific aspect of it. Now, if you are like, how do I consume these seeds? Like, what do I do with seeds? You can put them on your porridge or in your porridge. You can mix them in. You can mix them into smoothies. You can bake them into cookies. One of my favorite ways. I will leave a recipe for you. Next up is fermented foods. Yes, you can have fermented foods, and they are so delicious and so good for your gut. So delicious plant yogurt, vegan kefir, sauerkraut, vegan kimchi, whatever floats your boat in that probiotic world. Why are we eating these fermented foods? Well, we're eating them to get probiotics and, like I said, to help your gut, as well as vitamin K2. So we enjoy putting sauerkraut on our salads and just randomly everywhere. We enjoy plant yogurt in my house, and also we like a good vegan kefir. It's bubbly and delicious. The thing about kombucha, it's a fermented food, but some kombuchas have a little bit of alcohol, which is probably nebulous, but I'm just opting for kefir right now. I've had a few sips of kombucha here and there, but like, since there's a trace, you know, in some of them, there's a trace amount of alcohol, I'm just opting for kefir 99% of the time. Next up is you want to eat almonds. Now, almonds, they're delicious, but they're also really good for you because they're very rich in many things, but especially vitamin E. Now, the reason that almonds are so great is that the vitamin E supplements out there are total crap, so you don't want to take those. You want to eat almonds. Now, how do you eat almonds? You can eat them by the handful. You can chop them up into salads. I really like adding them to salads for some healthy fats, or porridge. You could make almond butter cookies, but almonds are wonderful to eat during your pregnancy. Next up is dates. So let's talk about dates. I love dates. Let me just preface this by saying I'm totally biased because I really love dates, especially medjool dates. Now, there are studies out there that say that women who eat dates, especially in the end of their pregnancy, it helps to soften the cervix and shorten their labor. And there's a lot of stories of women saying that, yeah, I ate a bunch of dates at the end of my pregnancy and it really helped. Now, I don't think there's necessarily enough scientific data to say absolutely for sure that eating dates does this, but I'm willing to take a chance because I love dates. But here's the thing. So they studied delecting dates, which are much smaller. They said to eat like 6 a day or something. So with medjool dates, which is my preference, it's probably about 3 because they're like a lot bigger. So are dates rich in sugar? Yes, they are. So you have to keep that in mind. If you're going to go the date path, then I would highly recommend that the rest of the day, if you're going to eat like 3 medjool or 6 delecting, you're not eating a bunch of sugar elsewhere. Does that make sense? Because they are rich in sugar, but they're a whole food. So they have fiber, they have potassium, they have all these delicious, wonderful components in dates, right? So it's a whole food. However, there is sugar. So if you're having dates and you're doing this date thing, which I'm here for it, then just be careful of how much sugar you're consuming in the rest of your day. The next thing to eat during your pregnancy is avocado. Now, I love avocado. I want to talk about avocado for a second. So obviously we eat avocado for the healthy fats, right? It's nature's butter. We love avocado. But the thing about avocado that I want to bring up that we studied in my nutrition studies is that avocados are almost like the shape of like a pregnant woman's body, with like the little nut being the baby. Have you ever looked at an avocado? Like, the shape of foods is important. So like walnuts, for example, they kind of look like a brain and they're good for your brain. Like, it's fascinating. Maybe it's anecdotal, but I find it truly interesting. So I highly recommend that you add avocados into your diet if you're pregnant. They're so satisfying, rich in healthy fats. Yum. Just really quick, I want to take a moment to say that if you are pregnant, or if you hope to be, or maybe you're postpartum, if you'd like help either losing weight or solving your personal health mysteries, then definitely check out Veggie Magnifique Coaching. I am currently on maternity leave, but my husband is coaching and he has a few spots at the moment. And if you see this video later and he doesn't, you can always join the waitlist. So definitely check out veggiemagnifique.com to check out the different coaching services, because it can be really helpful to have an advocate to help you reach your health goals. Back to my tips. My next tip, number 8, is to eat nutritional yeast. Now, if you're not a vegan, you're like,
nutritional yeast. That sounds disgusting.
fair enough. However, it's the opposite of disgusting. It's absolutely like golden flakes of delicious cheesiness. It's like a vegan's secret, really. And the reason why I'm talking about it is not necessarily just because it's so delicious and it makes things cheesy, is that it is rich in B vitamins. It's essentially B vitamins and protein, which you want those. So how do you use nutritional yeast? Well, at our house, we use it in a lot of different ways. We use it to marinate tofu, right, to kind of bread it. We use it just on top of like a stir fry or a pasta dish to make it cheesy. It's also exceptionally good on popcorn. It's just like, willy-nilly, shake it on everything. See if you can get some B vitamins / nutritional yeast into your diet, especially if you're pregnant, to really give your nutrition a boost. My next tip is to eat sweet potatoes. So sweet potatoes are highly lauded for being fantastic in general, but they're also really great if you're pregnant because of the vitamin A. Now, vitamin A plays a large role in fetal growth and formation, development of the heart, the eyes, ears, limbs, and the immune system. So we love sweet potatoes in general. They're so rich in so many different vitamins, beta carotene, etc. However, they're exceptionally good during pregnancy to make sure that Bubba's getting all that vitamin A and growing like he or she should. So one bonus I want to bring up, if you can find vegan natto, which is a Japanese fermented bean dish, which is really stringy. I absolutely love it. I haven't found it yet here, but if you can find it, it's a wonderful thing to include during your pregnancy because it's a fermented food, it has K2, it's rich in a bevy of nutrients. So if you're pregnant and you can get your hands on some vegan natto, do it. You might not like the taste. Some people don't like the taste. Now, do you have to eat a vegan diet to ensure a healthy pregnancy? Well, let's put it this way. Science seems to point toward eating a whole food plant-based diet 90% of the time is an excellent strategy to avoid a higher risk of gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, heartburn, constipation, and basic stuff like avoiding too much superfluous weight gain. And yes, this is of course based on scientific studies and not just my ethics. You might have different ethics than I do, and this video is just about pregnancy nutrition. Now, what about those healthier treats I was talking about? You know, having your cake and eating it too, because goodness knows I like cake. So in my health coach opinion, as long as you're avoiding refined sugar and refined carbohydrates most of the time, you can definitely have delicious treats. You just want to healthify them a little bit. Like instead of having a cookie, you have a cookie made with oats and flax and like those things that I was talking about earlier. You healthify the cookie by using different ingredients, but then the product still looks similarly. Now that's a big part of what we do here on Veggie Magnifique, so I will definitely link some recipes for you. We have delicious oatmeal pancakes and cookies made from nuts and oats and all sorts of delectable things that really do your body good, but then they also give you a treat, right? So you don't want to eat like 65,000 of them, but at the same time, it really just like scratches that itch for having a little bit of like deliciousness in your life. So there are really so many ways to enjoy your pregnancy without feeling deprived or putting your baby at risk of the aforementioned complications, which you want to avoid. So essentially, yes, you can have your cake and eat it too. It's just a good idea to healthify that cake, so to speak. But again, you don't have to take my word for it, and I highly, highly recommend that you do your own research. I will definitely leave some links down below for you to do some further reading on the optimal diet for your pregnancy. Of course, there are also many things that you want to try to avoid during pregnancy, and if you'd like me to make a video about that, I would be happy to do so. So just leave me a comment down below and let me know that you'd be interested in seeing that. So there you have it. Those are the foods that I highly recommend that you eat during your pregnancy to ensure that you feel tip-top and that baby gestates beautifully. If you enjoyed this video, of course, it means so much when you leave a comment and let me know that you were here and you say hi. And I would love to hear from you as well. Tell me what are some of the foods that you enjoyed during your pregnancy that made you feel tip-top. Let's have a conversation. And if you liked this video, it's so great when you actually do click the like button, so I thank you in advance. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a good time. You can subscribe, it's totally free, and I would love to have you in the Veggie Magnifique tribe. So that is all for now. I look forward to seeing you next time on Veggie Magnifique. Take care, guys. Bye.